Are we looking? We live on everything, Tawana?
I see us. Yep.
All right. Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. I'm here with the crew. We got Anton. We got B Nix. And we got Tawana. And me, myself, I'm JI. Welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. Greatest show ever. How you guys feeling? Good? Yeah?
I'm good.
Hey, I'm good, bro. I'm here. I'm alive.
What about
You're
you,
alive.
Anton? You good? Anton like he ready.
Yeah, I'm alive, man.
You alive. That's like an interesting
I don't
comment.
know. It's just first thing came to mind, man. Blessings.
You're alive. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Blessings.
Thankful, man.
Thank God. Thank God.
As people are coming in, we appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. We'll have another great show tonight. Our first topic, I know you guys been hearing about this movie, American Skin, and we just wanted to kind of share our thoughts about it. I'm going to start off first. I think it was an excellent movie. The whole time that I'm watching the movie, I just felt like I was just like in suspense myself. It made me think of my kids as well, and if I was in that situation, what I would do. I think it was a lot of hidden messages within the movie, but overall, I think it was a great movie. Hey, B Nix, I know you saw American Skin. You tell me your thoughts.
It was cool. It was cool. I think it was. It had. It was suspenseful. It made me think, but not necessarily from the aspect of. I was not surprised with any aspect of how the story played out. At the end, I was curious as to after the ad hoc jury found the defendant guilty. I was interested to see that part of the movie on how it was going to be resolved, but it was almost verifying that these stories that we saw in the movie is something that happens every day, and the story is not told. So I appreciate the fact that the movie exists because of that. But actually, I thought about myself. I thought about every time I get pulled over, that I always had that feeling in my mind that like this could go left, and not necessarily from the aspect of like my son getting killed, but me. Like there's been so many times I've been pulled over with my kids, having to step out the car, and you almost become numb to it. And that's the part where, for me, that goes a little bit beyond the storyline of the movie, the plot. It made me think like this isn't okay, but it's became so normalized that I have learned how to just deal with it as if it's okay. Um, I don't like getting pulled over, but my kids still talk about like when I was pulled over or when I was arrested in front of them. You know how embarrassing that is. You know how humiliating that is. I remember I was driving down 83rd. This was I want to say about 4 years ago. I want to say 5 years ago, 'cause I was still staying over east. I was driving out 83rd. I was just passing Avalon Park. For anybody from the Chi, southeast side. I was just passing Avalon Park on 83rd. That's between right after the viaduct between Cottage and Stony Island. And I got pulled over, and I got pulled over in a rental. That's the part that was so funny. My Camry I used to have, it broke down, so I had a Town and Country, all white Town and Country. I only had one child then at the time. It was just me and Brianna, and I got pulled over because I fit the description. Right, the car was empty. It was a rental. I had to step out the car. My daughter at the time, Brianna, she's 9 now. She was she was a little over 1.5 years old. And I had to just stand out the car, like in the winter with my baby in my hand and act like it's normal, you know? And that ain't the first time. And I don't even know if I'm at this point right now in my life, I don't even know if I get upset anymore. I don't know if I get sad anymore. Am I hurt? No. So that's why I kind of looked at the movie and I was kind of numb to it. Cause like, I'm sure everybody that's listening or will listen to this is like, oh yeah, that happened to me. And I think that's the part that makes this a sad story, is that it happens so often that it doesn't really touch your heart anymore, because it's like it's acceptable behavior. This is all learned behavior. What we saw with those officers in the movie, we're all classically conditioned to behave and act a certain way based on our title or our role or our skin or, you know, the job we have, these not gender roles, these societal roles that we feel that we have to live up to. So it was just, it was verifying, but at the same time, it made me feel like, man, as a adult, not even as a father, but just as an adult, that I am numb to those stories right now of somebody dying. And the thing is, it's not a day to go by. Not to say I'm looking to die. I love living. But every time I see a cop or those type of situations, I always feel like, man, this could be it. And I'm okay with that. And I don't even know if that should be acceptable of me to even feel that way. But I do. So that's all I got, Jay, right now, until we start talking more.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Nick, I wanted to ask a follow-up question. Was there anything, can you tell me what scene stood out to you in that movie the most?
The first one with the cop that wouldn't allow him. He had expired, you know, the insurance card was expired. He had his hands on the wheel. He did everything he was supposed to do. He asked him, officer, can I go check? No, you can't. And at that moment, I have to comply, right? Or do I not comply? I have to get out the car, but he was still never granted the opportunity to go and check in the glove compartment. So automatically, I'm treated as guilty. And the thing is, that opening scene, it felt like I've been there before so many times that it was like, oh, okay, I already know what's about to happen next. They about to ask him to step out the car. Then it's like, okay, after that step out the car, he had a phone, right? So the thing is, as the father, it was looking like, hey, put your phone away. But the thing is, it's like, so I'm getting shot over a phone because you were scared? They always come up along the side. So the thing is, it's okay. Like, bro, there's literally been times where, like, man, I have been arrested and my children have to then ride in my car while I'm in the paddy wagon and stuff, man. And I have to watch them drive my car with my kids in my car while I'm in the back seat. And the thing is, I went to work the very next day. And I had to act like none of that happened. You know, when that situation happened, it was actually on Walgreens on 87th and Stone. All that played out based on just nobody willing to listen, willing to talk. So that's the part that's just like, I could go down the list of so many times. Tawana, you was in Champaign with us. Like, there's been times in Champaign. That's a whole nother element. You know? So the thing is, like, I don't think that scene showed the just like automatic, the guilty to prove it innocent. That is if we had a meme of what it means to be guilty and to prove it innocent in that moment, he wasn't even granted the opportunity to reach in a glove compartment to correct what was wrong. It was yelling and arguing out the gate, off the rip. So it's like, you already think I'm guilty. and I can't do nothing about my skin color. So then it's like, hey, I always joke about like how I don't really go out no more. I stay in the house. It's like, man, I feel safe here.
Mm-hmm.
But now, but the thing is, am I being captive because of these external factors that are normal? The only thing that's different right now is being recorded. This stuff been going on. This predates everybody on this call. We got old heads that could go back to stuff that was way worse, but it wasn't recorded. So, I mean, I don't even know if I answer your question, but the first scene, that was the one. Out the gate, that first opening scene.
Tawana, American Skin. Can I get your thoughts on the movie when you first saw it?
I love your explanation, B Nix, but I thought that it was good to hear that side of it and what emotions they brought out of you. Overall, like the acting was so good. I really appreciated the acting, like that one Hispanic officer. I cannot think of his name. It was really powerful at one moment. I didn't like some of the editing, so I thought it was okay. I thought the movie was okay. I didn't like how some of the character development and the element, like, I don't want to do spoilers, but, someone was shot. We really didn't know who he was. And we later found out it was the uncle. It was just kind of like, it was all over the place for me. But what I did like was the conversation between the community and the officers. And I thought that was an interesting perspective. And also the fact that you see the person who we feel always attack us, right? Who we feel in the community, we feel like the police officers are always against us and they never admit fault, right? Something that hurts us so deeply, they never admit fault. And you see an officer, actually admit to racial profiling. And that, I thought that was powerful. I thought he hit some real powerful points. Like I understood what direction he was going in the movie. And I felt like I got the perspective of, hey, we need to have these conversations so that we can understand both sides. That was the first time we saw the police officer side said in such an emotional way. And I liked how they talked about their training, how they talked about all these other external things that pretty much we don't consider, and I really, really appreciated that about the film. I do hate the whole idea of us like turning the other cheek and always being forgiven. And, I think that is like overused. That's just my opinion. I feel like that's the part I struggle with the movie, is that part of it. But also I understand why, we can't fight violence with violence, and why Nate chose not to go in that direction. And Nate Parker, I'm talking about the director. And I understood why he chose not to, because obviously that can take the movie from a drama to a propaganda. And sometimes, we don't want to change the genre, right? And he wants to be probably considered for certain awards. I did appreciate those conversations, but also the best part for me was learning KJ's character and learning their story and how he was a father who worked so hard to get his son into this private school, and how KJ was like so smart and like one of our bright minds, right? That was taken too soon. Like that story happens so much in our communities. It's just like so many bright people who are taken from us, right? Unexpectedly. And so I think that was the part that touched me the most. After that part of learning KJ, and that part, it lost me a little bit up until the community conversation. Then I was like, okay. And I love the idea that the kids were involved and that the high school students were filming it as a documentary. That was interesting too. So it was some great points in the movie. So, I don't disagree with you, JR. It has some excellent points. But I'm kind of on the side of B-Nix. It's cool. It was cool, but it did bring out emotions. And it did, there was some perspectives that I caught from it. So
can I add one point? Thanks, Tawana.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like from a personal space. I know usually we generalize stuff, but this actually going back to like learned behavior, why we do what we do. And I know on this show, there's times where I can be difficult about my stance about certain things, but there's a rationale behind it. Like one of the things that kind of I thought about everybody on the show was we had talked about like, hey, letting somebody know where you're at, you know, like as a courtesy where you're going and stuff. I didn't used to do that until that time where that specific time where I had an issue with the officer and I was with my kids and I didn't tell my wife exactly where I was going. She knew I was out, of course, because I wasn't at home. But the thing is, the situation snowballed throughout the night. So it's like now it's like I'm not just MIA, but the kids are MIA. And from that moment on, that was one of the main contributors as to why I always say, like, you know, the courtesy text or whatever like that. Because the thing is, the world that we live in right now, think about the mama, right? All that was going on, but it's like, who's informing the moms as this happening? Because this part that we don't see is the behind the scenes. Like if he's getting arrested, the father, Link, you know, and if the son is actually the one who got shot, so when did the mother find out what was going on? You know how like gut wrenching that is that you're just sitting at home just waiting on somebody to show up and they never come back. Because I thought that was ironic, which I didn't know when the officer, they get told to go home. And that the son, KJ, never had the opportunity to go home. And the father, I'm assuming, didn't go home until maybe even the next day. And that's the part, at the end of the day, the officer still gets the opportunity to go back home. So that's the thing why I just want to bring up that's one of the reasons that the courtesy, like I need to let you know where I'm at because I might not come home. And the thing is, as the current climate that we're in right now, that's actually a normal practice that I might not come home tonight based on something that's beyond my circumstance. I'm not trying to play this victimization of what's happening, but it's very real. And that movie just really resonated with me to authenticate how I already feel. That it prompted me to actually talk about it versus just acting like it didn't happen and going about my day.
Did any one of you guys shed a tear?
Nope. Not at all. I don't do that.
Tawana, you had the tissue out?
Yeah, but also I'm emotional anyway right now. So I don't know if you can really take that. But yes, I did cry, especially when KJ died. And then hearing like how bright he was and, just all his story. And then the scene with the cousin, that really just got me when the cousin was just like going off about like, man, you killed my 14-year-old cousin, like showing a picture of him like, man, he a person, and I that was like a powerful scene to me.
Yeah, it was just powerful for me just to understand. I don't think people even realize how a father loves their son, especially with him being the only son. And to take that from him, it's like you had so much more to be able to teach him, and that opportunity was taken away from him. So just hearing it, I think he played the hell out of that role because I actually believe that he loved his son. Anton, American Skin, what were your thoughts?
I didn't think anything. It didn't resonate with me. Didn't mean anything to me. I looked at it purely as entertainment. I personally don't know how people grasp so much of a narrative that's being painted in a movie. No matter what movie I watch, I literally look at it as entertainment. And so it didn't mean anything to me whatsoever. I understand that it played upon how people are being marketed to and certain stories that's being played out in society today. But, as far as like what it meant to me, it didn't mean anything to me except for being a Spike Lee joint. And outside of that, as far as the movie itself, looking at the production and stuff like that, it was just okay. It was nothing more than just okay, but it didn't mean anything specifically for me. I don't have anything to speak on as it relates to like letting it resonate to me. It didn't make me shed a tear. It didn't do anything. So, after I got done with that, I went back to watching The Wire, which is the best series of all time for me, and that was the end of it. So,
I think um, I think one of the scenes that I don't think a lot of people paid attention to was um, the fact that his son wasn't listening to him when he told him to get back in the car. I mean, that was something that kind of stood out to me,
Mm.
and I felt that, for like the life of me, this father is yelling to the top of his lungs, and his son is just not registering to him that this is a serious situation. Even if it wasn't serious, the fact that his father had to say over and over again, put the phone down, get back in
Yeah.
the car, get
Yeah.
back in the car, put the phone down, and the son just lost it.
But you know what though? I thought about that scene too, but the part, like just to dovetail your part about that scene, how powerful it was a scene where him and his guy was on the computer when they were doing homework or studying or whatever they were, right?
Right.
And they was talking about the Supreme Court case. And then Link walked in and stuff, and then, he was like, no, I'm about to go. I gotta go. He's like, no, you need to hear this too. And because his friend is also being a young male that's coming up, it's like, you need to hear this. And the part that was interesting where, like, I respect his son. His son was so bright, and so knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those, like, in the real world, in reality, that doesn't even mean anything. You have that old saying with like a book sense versus street sense or common sense. You got all that book sense, Everybody on this panel got a bunch of book sense, myself included. But real life, these theories, these philosophies does not prepare you for these moments. You know what I mean? And it's almost like, as a father, and not me personally, but as seeing through the lens of Link as the father in the movie, it's like, imagine how that feels. You got to tell your son, yeah, what you read is true, but it don't apply to us, like that you can't do that, So it's like everything that we learn in a more formalized, educated setting does not apply. It's almost like how people sit up here and talk about how they, why we got to take math, but we're forced to take math in school. But we say like, oh, none of this stuff applies to real life, but you just need to know it. So we learn all this stuff. We just need to know it, but yet it doesn't apply. It's not applicable to real life application. So that's the part that, like, to that point, his son, okay, yeah, he probably should have listened to his father. But did he really do anything wrong? that's the thing. He was like,
I don't think he did nothing wrong, but I do think that that's just
for the outcome.
Yeah,
based on the outcome of him losing a life.
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he did anything wrong, but I do think that as humans, we do have to pay attention to things that lead up to a situation. Because if he was listening, then maybe he would not have got shot. I'm not excusing the officers, but we can use another example. If we were better parents to our children, if the fathers were active, then maybe we wouldn't have some of these outcomes. We don't know the future, but I just wanted to highlight that point, the fact that he wasn't listening. And we can take that scene and understand how important it is that we need to get on our children about listening to us.
Mm-hmm.
So, but overall, it was a great movie. I do appreciate you guys' perspectives on that movie. If you guys are just joining us, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Moving on to our second topic. This is going to be a good one. How tall are you? Dress size. How much do you weigh? How many kids do you have? Okay, let me ask this. The last time you stepped on a scale, how much did it weigh? Why are people so angry with Kevin Samuels? That's the next topic. Why are people so angry with Kevin Samuels? I'm gonna kick it off. I've been having a lot of conversations with different people, and when I do have these conversations, they say you're starting to sound like Kevin Samuels, or you sound like Anton. You guys on that Kevin Samuels shit, or I just don't understand it. Even Tawana, I know she put something inside our Facebook group, and it was just a lot of back and forth. So it seems to be that some people have an issue with Kevin Samuels, and a lot of times that as I'm reading this, people have not even listened to his show. They just hear like bits and pieces of it. And so I've explained to them, if you listen to the whole show in its entirety, that you can kind of get a better understanding as to why he says certain things. If you just hear only part of it, how can you judge him? How can you tell him that he's not a professional, or he doesn't have a background, he doesn't have a degree? But when I listened to the show, he did highlight how he ran some ministries in the church when it came to like relationships and marriages. So, and I think people need to understand that even your professionals need help. I've had situations where I've known people that do help other people, but then they also are toxic themselves. So I just want to kind of get you guys' opinions about it. I already have an idea of where this might go, but I'm just curious. Why are people so angry with Kevin Samuels? B Nix.
I think I don't even dislike him as a person. I actually appreciate his story on how he got to where he is now. I'm all about the journey. The fact that, not to say he came from the mud, but hey, he built himself up to be who he is right now. For anybody that follows the show, my pet peeve is always the delivery of information.
What?
It's a way in which you have to talk to people, in order for folks to receive you. And I think that this is an example of, it's an audience that does cater to this type of rhetoric and this tonation and how you speak to people. But it's not the majority, So, I mean, my issue is more so in which how he presents information, the tone, the delivery, kind of the antics, the facial expressions, the hand gestures. It leads is more of a put down. Because I mean, almost if we was to remove Kevin Samuels' name from everything you just said, JR, crazy. The first thing I thought of, like, man, that's the same way people talk about Trump. That you got people that defend him because of not the content of what he's saying. They say like, hey, but this is what he meant. It's like, I don't think that when I speak to people, there should never be a case where I need a translator for somebody to say, well, this is what B. Nix meant to say. This is what Brandon intended to say. Well, this is how he talked, but this is what he was trying to let you know. Like, for me, his message gets skewed and muddied based on his delivery. It comes off as very kind of arrogant, is come off as kind of like I mentioned in the past, that less than language, that
What?
There's a level of superiority that I'm speaking from and you're not at a certain level, but that's his audience, So the thing is, he's giving the people what they want, the same way we talk about rappers. May say, why do rappers rap that way? He's giving the people what they want, So the thing is like, hey, that's his hustle. He has the people that calls in that supports him. That's cool. Same
Nick.
thing with Trump and everybody else that I probably dislike, but it's the delivery for me.
Nix, when you say that he's giving them what they want, what is that? The truth?
Entertainment.
It's the truth. And why can't it be the truth?
Well, yeah. I mean, even with stereotypes, it's still rooted in some type of truth. So it's not like he's creating things out of thin air. But, I think that he caters to an audience that wants to be told, these lessons from a stranger, which is fine. But I mean, it's just what I said earlier is that I don't have an issue necessarily with the content. My biggest issue with him is the delivery. And the thing is, like, hey, Anton, I love you, brother. But I know when me and you first met, that was one of the things I always said. I was like, I don't necessarily disagree with you on what you're saying, but the how you say it, because it rubs me the wrong way. And it's something just kind of like an organic feeling that I get. It's kind of like, who the hell you think you are? That's the first thing I think of. And I don't do that just with Kevin Samuels or Anton, John Doe, or whoever else. But it's like, hey, you have to present information in a way where people are able to receive. It's like, even in a relationship at work, if you yelling at somebody or if you talking down to somebody, then how do you expect me to listen to you, right? It's like, yeah, I hear you talking, but I'm not necessarily comprehending what you're saying. So I think that a lot of times that Kevin Samuels, he misses a broader audience because of his delivery of how he states his material.
You say he's talking down on people, you think?
Oh, I know. Ain't nothing to think about. Like, it's quite obvious, you know? And the fact that we're sitting up here still talking about this brother trying to defend, this is no different than the Trump supporters. Like, people still trying to defend, you know? Because the way that, like, the material is presented. If he presented the material in a receptive way, he would just be like anybody else that's walking this earth right now. The fact that Kevin Samuels now is emerging as a virtual household name. Why, Sway? You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, how, Sway? Like this is, I don't care. He has an audience that he caters to, and it's entertainment. He's get paid. People pay him in order to come talk. I just know I'm not that. That's no different than people going on talk shows. I don't care. What we're talking about, JR. Like, folks been going on talk shows, Springer, Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake, all type of shit for fucking years, man. It ain't nothing. Oprah, we go down the list. Sally Jesse Raphael, all these shows. Donahue. It's like, man, people go on these shows, right?
But why is it that
different that is virtual versus being on?
But why is it that women taking it so personal then? If it's just a show.
Oh, I don't watch this show.
No, I said, why is it that women are taking it personal?
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
I don't know. I think it would be good to ask a woman why they take it personal. I mean, I think that my issue is with delivery. I don't even know if that's their issue with his delivery. You know, it may be the way he looked. Folks looking at before and after pictures, like 10-year challenge pictures of him. I don't care about dude LeBron's hairline or anything or whatever he got, the snatch off. Whatever the hell, like, it doesn't even matter. But now you're trying to tear down this man, you know, a character. So that's the thing. He's created a character. And what do people do? They tear it down, man. Let that brother get his money. But am I watching this show? No, I'm not part of his audience. So the thing is like, I don't hear him, not because he's not making sense, but the same reason I don't watch a bunch of other shows like his. I don't need to, if I need some relationship advice, I'm not about to call in to a stranger. I just won't. I will probably ask somebody as she knows my personality to kind of get some insight and some context. That's the part that's crazy. Folks talking about Kevin Samuels. What about the people that's calling in? It's like, man, you gotta pay somebody that you calling in and begging for them to tell you, hell, pay me. Pay me. Pay JR, pay Lapeef. Pay us right now. Run the check. Cash app us right now. If that's the case, if you're going to pay money just to get some advice.
Okay. They pay to get on his show? That's another component.
Go seek therapy then. I'm done.
Anton, coming to you. I'm about to stir the pot right now. Why is it that people are so angry with Kevin Samuels?
Because they're weak and the truth hurt. And it's a problem whenever you start to ask people to validate a lot of times, man.
You know what? That's that Trump shit, man. That's the same. That's the same thing. Folks sitting up here. I'll let you talk. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oftentimes, B-Nix, you yourself say, "Oh, I don't identify as a high value man. I don't fit that narrative." Thus, the reason why you don't understand and can't communicate effectively as it relates to how Kevin Samuel speaks and what it is that he refers to, because he's speaking to a specific audience. He's speaking to people like me, very high value men, men that generate a certain level of income, that operate and move a certain type of way in their mindset. And so the thing that I've come to understand is that it ain't for everybody, because you got to have a certain type of ear and you got to be a certain type of people to understand what he's saying. Most people are emotional. A lot of guys are emotional. Women are obviously emotional, but a lot of guys are emotional. And so they're unable to take away their feelings in order to come to an objective truth. And an objective truth is that men very much think this way. That's in a certain bracket. and you can't dispute it just because you feel like it or it doesn't make you feel good. The way to get to the other side of happiness and growth is to get over yourself and start to actually look at what he's saying and apply some of these principles to actually help you become a more valuable person. Even if you in a great space, even if you're doing well, and I'm speaking for, like, let's just say women, for example, right? Let's say they was able to get a man or whatever. Don't you want to be like even greater? Don't you want to use anything that you can in order to continue to elevate yourself? Do you care about the vessel or do you care about the results? And so most of us, people that think like me, we care about the results. We don't care who's saying it. We don't care how they make us feel when they say it. We just care about winning. And if winning is the objective, then you do what you can. You have a Jordan mentality. You use certain things to propel you to be great. And I don't expect other type of dudes to understand how it is that Kevin Samuels talk. I don't expect other type of dudes to be able to rock and move the way that I move, because if they was, then they would be in a position that I'm in anyway. And so it's always going to be winners. It's always going to be losers. And I understand that losers want to make themselves feel good. They want participation trophies. They want to be validated. They want other people to agree with them. But when it comes down to real results and you really separating yourself and being able to say who is the winner and who is the loser, there's clear people in the conversation, and that's Kevin Samuels' audience. It's not for everybody. So you just got to stop explaining it to them and let them be less than, let them be beta males, let them be whatever they're going to be.
Tawana, coming to you next. Why are people so angry with Kevin Samuels?
Well, let me say this. My post was not directed at Kevin Samuels. My post was speaking about the women who validate him and support him, because I do feel that they are the problem. Kevin Samuels has his opinion. His opinion, some of it is based in statistical data. Some of it is just hot air that he blows up people's ass. And I think that women who validate him are the problem. I have no issue with his perspective on what he feels the small segment of people he interact with wants in a woman. I think that what the problem is for me is the women who think there's some validity to what he says and takes his word at face value. And also me personally, I care about who's giving me the information. I care about who's pouring the information into me. So that all makes a difference for me. So if you're a man who hasn't ever been in a successful relationship, if you're a man who can't demonstrate a healthy relationship with other women, but yet you want to teach me about why should I even listen to what you think I need to do in order to obtain a man? So like, that is my concern, is even people who validate people like Steve Harvey or other people. I always wonder, what exactly is your reasoning for feeling like you need some man to tell you how to get a man? Like, he's not a woman. He can't tell you what we need to do in order to please a man, get a man. Women, we know how to do that naturally. We don't need any man to direct us and tell us that stuff. So for the fact that women feel like they need to have this validation from men, it really bothers me completely. So what I did was I posed that question: what woman who ain't single and ain't miserable in life even thinks that he says anything that I was really asking, like, I really wanted to hear a woman who really was in a happy, healthy relationship, loving her man, ready for marriage, that really thought that there was some validity to what he said, that really had, a perspective. And no woman really stepped up to say, yeah, you know what? I listened to him and he really does give me great advice. I think that a lot of the women who listen to him, and I think that is who he target. He want these single women, right? That's like, that really is like, want to get married. They have all these expectations and they really just don't know what they're doing wrong. And so they're looking for men. They're looking for validation from other people. They want him to accept them. They want him to validate them. And that's what they call him for. And I think that's pretty sad. Like, I think that is the lowest thing you could do. And that's just my opinion. So I was really, really trying to get some perspective on what woman in her right mind would listen to a man who is telling her these things and really criticizing how she looks based on shallow things, right? Because he asks really shallow questions. What's your dress size? How you look? This, that, and the third. He rates people on all these little shallow physical characteristics, and then he talks about men as if you guys have no depth to you. You guys don't think about anything besides physical appearances and physical attributes that have absolutely nothing to do with who that person is. And I just know many men, and that just is not the way all men are. So he speaks from this absolute perspective, and that is really problematic for me, especially when it comes to women who I see calling in, constantly validating him. That's all I'm saying. That was my perspective.
Hey, I got a question. I just thought is Kevin Samuels married, or he's been married before?
He's been married before.
Twice. He's been married twice, and he's divorced twice. And so, I mean, just me personally, it's like you can tell me
people want
how to be in successful relationships with people.
It is amazing.
It doesn't sound like he knows how to have healthy communication with any human being. Just the way he speaks. And I told, just like B-Nix was saying, the way he speaks to people, he has no idea how to have healthy communication. And to me, if he offered a different alternative and he said to them, look, he's trying to humble women. I get that. He's trying to humble the women that he speaks to. He's also trying to humble the men that they call in as well. And he gives them this perspective like, look, this is what you want. This is unrealistic. And so people try to explain the premise of the show to me, and I get it. It's not hard. It's not hard to understand his concept and what he's trying to do. The problem is that he does all of that. He's like asking them, but then he doesn't tell them anything different. He doesn't say, maybe you should consider this, right? Because this is not the right option. So that's why I don't respect what he says. That's why I can't deal with him. He tells women that they have no other option, which I disagree with. Maybe the option is not what they want, but that doesn't mean that they don't have other options. And so, I cannot validate him, and no, I cannot respect anyone who does. So yeah, that's my personal opinion. Do I think Kevin Samuels is a bad guy? No. Do I think that everything he says is stupid? Absolutely not. But what I do think is the women who validate him got some serious issues. That's what I think.
Have you ever watched the whole show?
I've watched several because actually
the whole show from beginning to end?
Like the entire show. I've watched several things that have been not just posted in our group, but like I follow Kevin Samuels now because we've talked about him so much and gave him so much of a platform. And now I have to do that. So then his little shows pop up. And so then I'll listen to them and I hear his conversations. I understand what he's trying to do. Like I said, it's not difficult to comprehend that. Am I going to give any respect to that approach? No. Do I think that he's telling a truth? No, I think it's opinion. And I hate when people keep saying it's truth. This is his truth. No, it's not truth. Just because I have a subset of people that can validate whatever it is that I'm saying does not mean it's truth. It's my opinion. It's my experience.
All right. So how can you tell us what our truth is?
Listen, truth is subjective, I guess. So if that's what we're going to go with,
what?
That truth is subjective. Because for him to tell somebody they're going to die alone when he doesn't know the outcome of her life, and I believe only one person or one being in this world knows that, is truth to you guys. That makes absolutely no sense to me. For you to think that someone can tell you your destiny that don't know you. He met her in a conversation. He knows just as much about her as I know, but tell her what the outcome of her life is going to be.
Hey, JR, can we, honestly, I want to say, hey, after this, man, we ain't even got to talk about Buddy.
Why are we talking about this?
You know what?
Just because it makes you uncomfortable,
it's entertainment, man.
Don't mean that we're not going to talk about it.
It doesn't make me uncomfortable. It's
Anton,
just
no
like
different than you talking about the American.
I'm never going to
like I don't feel moved. Like I sit up here on these shows with y'all, man. And the thing is, I watch Buddy's show. That's his opinion. I've been pretty consistent. The thing is, I said that like, hey, his delivery is poor. I look at everybody that's an orator to see how they speak to people. The thing is, like, hey, it couldn't be me to call up his show, but both me and you agreeing on this, Anton. So I'm not beefing with you. We both agree. He represents a certain audience. I am able to own how I feel that Buddy ain't more audience, man. But we can't sit up here and act like it's just only a certain type of man or woman that exists in this world. Like, it's not like, you know, I'm gonna say it's not binary. It's not either or. It's like, bro, it's just
all men are the same to him.
Hey, let that man live. That's cool.
That's how I know. That's how I know that either she wasn't paying attention while she was watching the show, or she didn't watch the whole show, because he never says that. He never speaks from the perspective of all men are the same. Specifically, and it's funny, you know what's so tripped out there?
I understand he defines the difference between high value men. I understand that. Okay. I have watched this damn show. He has given all these definitions. He is the label maker. I get it. I do not think this man has one valid points. Okay. It's an opinion. Cool. Everybody can respect his opinion, just like Steve Harvey has millions of women who think he is the most fantastic person in the world. Everyone has somebody to follow them.
Again, so
that's what it is.
I mean, we just talk like Anthony, you mentioned about high value men, right? The thing is, you talked about it's a certain percentage, right? I forgot what you said a few shows back. It's a certain percentage, right, of high value men that exists or something.
But you said
it's 5 to 10% in African Americans, but over in the entire world is 3%. 3% of the population is whatever he considers high value, right? But he also talks about six figures. So he doesn't just talk about these high value men with these high earners. He talks about these 6-figure men who make 6 figures, what type of women they like and what type of situations they would be in and put themselves in. And so, I just don't. I mean, I just know so many stories that's against his entire theory. It just makes no sense to me.
Hey, low key,
hold on, Nick. Hold on, Nick. Go ahead.
Half the women that calling in, I don't want them either. You know.
Hey, Nick, hold on for a second, Nick. Hold on for Nick. Go ahead, Anton.
He has an audience that he targets.
They are, bro.
Let him target that people.
Go ahead, Anton. What was you gonna say?
So it's funny because I was talking with my homegirl the other day, and her best friend was, I'm not even gonna say the one, because I shouldn't even be saying this real talk, but her best friend is one of the girls that called in that people were up in arms about on her behalf and all of that other type of stuff. And so I talked to her on the phone or whatever like that, the best friend, the girl that was actually on Kevin Samuel's show. And what she wound up admitting offline was that it was a bunch of women that was contacting her like, yes, girl, like, yeah, you really showed him and stuff like that. But then when she really sat with herself and she looked in the mirror, she realized that a lot of the stuff that she was portraying was false because everybody else was trying to validate her in her life instead of telling her the truth, which is actually the reason why she was prompted to call the show, or not call the show, but go on Instagram Live with him. And so she said that when she finally sat with herself, she was honest about the fact that she's used to being around people that validate her and try to make her feel good about herself instead of actually tell her the truth in order to get her to be the person to be the best version of herself so that she can get what she wants, which is the reason why she called in the show in the first place. Was she has these goals, she has preferences. And so she was unwilling to do the work until she actually had a conversation with him. So when I hear people like Tawana and B Nick saying, yo, I don't get him and I think that he's wrong and I don't like the way he talked. Well, apparently the very person that he was talking about that y'all speak to, that women call and try to validate themselves, is saying something completely different. And I'm more than willing to ask her if she want to participate on this show and all of that.
Yeah, but I mean,
hold on.
I never said that. I said that I don't validate him.
Go ahead, Anton.
Willing to ask her at some point if she's willing to participate on the show because it's so many people that's speaking from their perspective, but they got so much opinion about somebody that they don't care about. And usually when it's only the hit dog that hollers, bro. So when you see all of these people getting all up in arms, you know it actually resonates with them, regardless of whether or not they're going to admit it or not on here. And again, weak people make weak opinions, and they make excuses as to why they can't do the work and get to where it is that they need to be. That's really what it comes down to, bro.
Hey, Nick, I want to ask you a question. So a woman that is, she's divorced. She has 2 baby fathers. She's 35. And she's looking to date. Did her value go down because of that?
Yeah, I want to say because some people don't want someone that already got kids or somebody that already has been divorced. It's like it's a strike, you know, not to say it's 3 strikes, but I think people do have strikes. They have a criteria in which they engage with people. So okay, you can say that, but you can say the same thing for a man too.
Hold on. I also want to ask you this: like, do you think that it's harder for women that are 35 and up to date to find love versus a man that's 35 and up?
Yeah, I think we talked about it on the show. I think the window is different. You know
why?
Half of it is based on looks. You know,
this is making him so uncomfortable. He don't want to admit everything he's saying, but he knows it's true.
No, I mean, it is. I know these all slanted questions because y'all always ask me questions. I never get to ask y'all questions. So
you can ask those questions after this. Go ahead and finish that and then ask us some questions.
Yeah, because the society we live in, bro. Because the thing is, it is one of those, like, there's a window. Because the level, like, we talked about this last time. Like, hey, a 55-year-old man, sugar daddy, zaddy, whatever y'all call him, yeah, he could reach back to a young head, get him a little 25-year-old, they go on a trip. I'll pay for it. The thing is, hey, is a 55-year-old looking for another 55-year-old woman to be with? I think in some cases, yeah, I got a few friends that are like, hey, they don't want nobody young. They want somebody in their range, their age group. But I think that we all have criteria. So the window is different for women, because men still look at women as far as the vitality of the reproductive aspect of a woman being able to still bear their children, and the way you look. Men are very much physical creatures. Not to say women aren't, but men look at women based on physicality, whether I engage in the conversation or not. We had Shawty Andrea on the show last week, and she was saying like half the people, like, unless you already got pre-existing relationship with somebody, that is like y'all just understand each other. If I see you in the street, I'm not going to say, oh, I see this woman in the street, she looks like she has a great mind. It doesn't work like that, man. So it's about, and I think women don't judge.
I'm about to go get the rollies.
Off, bro. See,
I'm about to go get the rollies for this, bro.
Hey, can I talk? Can I talk?
Yeah, I'm going to let Nick let his emotions come down while I go get the rollies.
See, I don't care. Anytime that Anton, I say some shit that you don't quite agree with, then you get big mad about it, man. But the thing is, it's true.
I'm rich. I don't have to be mad.
I'm not rich. So that's the thing. Like,
I know. That's what the difference is, levels.
We're different. We're different, bro. So I'm not about to sit up on this show on some whole shit like, hey, me and you represent different group of people, man. Well, I don't know why he left, but nonetheless, like, the thing is, like, bro, women that call up there, that's cool. That's them. But there are also women who not about to call in and pay to get advice on a TV show.
Not me.
So it's like, I'm not going to sit up here and say that, like,
for you to tell me that I can't do something that I've done in my life several times. Shut up, boy. All right.
Hey, Anton, come back if you there, because I was still talking. But I mean,
well, he's a classic. He can say what he want to say, but you can't say what you want.
So the question, JR, that you asked me, the value goes down. The value goes down on everybody as we get older. Period.
Right. Y'all love to rate people, humans.
Y'all know you asked me about women. So does the value go down?
They love to rate humans. Why are y'all rating people? I'm telling you what's so important.
I think it's just the reality of it.
What's so important about putting a number to a human being? I mean, I'm just trying to understand that.
I don't even know what that is, man.
Can you tell me
I know
what's so important?
Levels for this.
I don't care. All right. What that got to do with the topic? Like, what is that
I
anyway?
don't care.
That you're trying to with this show and tell? Like, dude,
No, I'm feeling good about myself, so I feel like I need to put on a whole nother.
Phoenix, I don't think that they pay people.
What are we doing? Hey, JR, what are we doing here, man? Like, we talk about, so, all right, you got to watch.
It's like a
Rolex?
I don't care.
No, I got 3. It's a difference.
What?
They all fit.
I don't got none of them. See, Anton. Hey, it's not even about
I don't care.
The thing is, between me and you represent something different that I ain't about, man. The thing is, like, you sit up here on this show, and every time we talk, you got to talk about your money, your investments, where you done travel, all that. And that's good for you, brother. I ain't got nothing against that. But the thing is, that ain't me. So I can't sit up here and act like the shit is...
JRU is crazy.
Hey, low key, that's how niggas be getting robbed, man. See, doing this dumb shit, man. Like,
seriously.
So, like, JR, hey, give me a
I'm a humble,
man.
I'm
like,
a humble
I'm
person.
done with this,
I don't care.
No, I ain't got the time at this point. Like,
you know.
Hey, next topic, bro. Like, cause this Anton, bro.
Thank you, Nicole.
What are you trying to prove, man?
That,
I don't even know what direction you going in right now.
You know what be next? It's a classic.
I mean, Anton, if that's your rebuttal,
I don't even want to call it.
If that's your rebuttal to about the value, because the thing is, yeah, you're right.
I don't have to rebuttal. My rebuttal is I'm winning in life, and everything that I can attest to the fact that everything that he's saying, I'm gonna leave this.
We still talking about Kevin Samuels, man.
I can attest to the fact that everything that he's saying is
blah blah blah.
I am a reflection of somebody that's a winner and an alpha male that picks and chooses and does what I want, and I dictate the narrative. So I don't have to have a verbal rebuttal. I'm a winner.
I hear you, Anton.
I hope that all Kevin Samuels fans
are
exactly
what I'm talking about, man. the delivery of which, because you're a very
clearly
bright
me and B Nicks are not his fans.
You're a very bright brother, but the way you deliver this information in order to prove a point, and it's not me. I'm sure somebody out there that's not gonna comment. There's like they're not gonna resonate with what you're talking about. If that's what they aspire to be and to do and to be like.
Well, if they suffer from Napoleon complex as well, they might. I don't know. Y'all are funny to me. Oh my goodness, this is fun. Okay, me and B Nicks are not Kevin Samuel fans. You and JR are. Let's go. I don't need to marry a homeless dude because
I want to be clear.
My man got he's straight.
Money
I don't know what to tell y'all.
If that's how Kevin Samuels has to be able to monitor his image, so be it. Good for him, man. Is he doing anything any different than me? Maybe so. He got his own show and stuff, and we doing Lapeef. So I don't got people coming.
Listen, he got a following. It's people who like him. Hey, it's our opinion. It's our opinion. I can say that I don't like people who validate him.
I've always said, not with you, but with specifically with Kevin Samuels, his information. I'm not in disagreement wholeheartedly with everything he's saying. I have issue with you all, like about language and delivery. For me, that's a pet peeve of mine, man. Because the way that Kevin Samuels or anyone else talks, I would get fired at my job. And if we talk about that's his workplace, I can't talk to people the way Kevin Samuels talk to people, right? And the thing is, I don't see why people will be comfortable allowing themselves to be spoken to in that manner. Even if he's telling, because your point, you're just looking at the outcome, the truth, where he's telling the truth. I get all that. But still, there's a level of respectability, us as adults, on how you communicate. That's my issue. And I've been very clear. We're not just with him, with you and everybody about what's appropriate language. So the thing is, that behavior, that's for that audience. You can say the same thing about rap music, right? You may say like, hey, I don't like music with people cussing and stuff. That's that audience. Don't listen to it.
What are you talking about, bro?
I agree with you.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
A different perspective.
Yes. What are you?
The question was what we started off about Kevin Samuels, right? The issue is delivery of content, man. And that has always been my core. You could go back to them old shows that we've talked about this before. You can't talk to people like in this like, because the thing is, people justify. They're like, well, I told the truth.
Yeah.
You know? So that means I get to cuss you out then, right? because that's just the way I felt. It's a level of social emotional intelligence that folks don't secure within themselves and on how they communicate with each other. That's why the world is so crazy right now, man, because of stuff like this. So if we sitting up here and acting blind to the larger issue about how we communicate with folks, hey, bro, hey, on everything I love, man, that's how folks care. Hey, motherfucker, put that pole on you, man. Like, I don't care. That's how folks get ran up on, man. Seriously, bro. You don't even like. See, I don't feel like you not being in Chicago. You don't understand the climate folks live in, man.
I think that it's always going to be two sides, right? It's always going to be some people who support Kevin Samuels.
You really
got to be people who don't, and I think we just got to respect that balance, right? Because there are people who don't relate to what Kevin Samuels says, and there's people who do, and it's okay to relate. And actually,
Nick's want to pull a poll out on me now because I'm stunned.
But two guys in the group really changed my perspective on Kevin Samuels.
Next topic, bro.
Yeah, I guess we can switch.
Hello?
See, I feel like,
Yeah, you calling in for the show?
I feel like we beat the dead horse. I just don't know what else we could say about it.
She really should like, because you can't train yourself to be different, bro. You don't have to be emotional over this stuff. Like, you can be like objectively reasonable, and you should not let your emotions take control of you, man. Because that's generally like
who you talking to?
You. That's what females.
Like,
who's emotional?
Look at you.
That's how I talk.
I feel like people just can't. We just giving an opinion. You know, it's just a show. Like,
I mean, like, bro, like if you,
I think people really feel like you're really upset. Like, I don't.
Hey, next to Tawana.
It's so.
Hey, I got somebody that called in.
Okay, perfect.
All right, go ahead, caller. Who's this on the line? Hi, guys. Hi, can you hear? Hold on 1 second.
Look, I thought I just heard some shots.
Will it make you feel better? Here, I'll switch back to watches. You want me to bust out the big boy? Because that haven't even been shown on YouTube yet.
I don't care about
you can hear
it
that time, but we can't.
We still talking about watches.
Caller, you still there?
Yes.
Okay, can you guys hear?
I think so. A little bit better.
All right, go ahead. Who's this caller?
This is Janelle. Hi, guys.
Hi.
What up, though?
I just wanted to put my 2 cents in.
Turn it up a little bit, please.
As far as the Kevin Samuels situation.
Hey, Janelle, give us 1 second. Let me just try to see if I can turn you up, okay?
Okay.
That's Janelle?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh, good.
Hey, we need like some music or something in between time, man.
All right, Janelle, you there?
Yes.
There she is. Hi, girlie.
Hi,
guys. Hi.
Okay, sorry about that. Now go ahead with your question.
Comment.
I just had a quick comment. So, as far as the Kevin Samuels situation, there will always be people who lead with their wallet, men and women.
Oh, she cut off. I can't hear you either, JR.
I got my phone on mute. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I hear you now. Mm-hmm.
Janelle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, like I said, there's always people who will lead with their wallet, men and women. And there's always, there's always a risk of getting a bunch of disingenuous people around you. People who want to use you, people who want to be around you because of what you have. And a lot of what Kevin peddles to me is he's telling women, ditch all your goals, ditch everything that you ever set out to be, and you be this person that this type of man wants. And you need to do this at a
I don't hear her anymore. I don't know if everybody else can still hear. Yeah, it went away. She was making some valid points about, yeah. You muted, JR.
All right, can you guys hear her now?
Mm-mm.
No, still no.
No.
I apologize for this, you guys. This a new feature we just incorporated. Janelle, you still there?
A great feature.
Can you hear?
Somehow when it comes to the show, we can't hear her. We can hear her for a little bit.
Janelle.
yeah.
Okay, she's on the phone. Trying to get off the phone. Janelle, you there?
Hello.
Okay, let's see if I can get this right. Janelle, one more time. Can you hear us? You guys can't hear any feedback from her line at all?
I don't hear her. Yeah, I can hear her echo on your side, but
Okay.
Hello.
there she is.
Oh, you can hear me now?
I do. It's at some point it cut off. You were kind of making the point about what you thought he was telling women, as far as
Yeah, it's like he was trying to tell women that early on you need to make a choice between whether you want to be this woman, this perfect woman for the high value man, or whether you want to chase your goals and dreams and, you know, be this independent quote unquote woman. And at the end of the day, you do not have to choose. You don't have to choose. And regardless of whether you listen to 3 hours of his show or 5 minutes of his show, he constantly says it over and over. Oh, you're this old, you're 30 years old, and you haven't got a man, or the relationships you were in are, you messed that up. You were being selfish. You shouldn't have been worrying about your career in school. You should have been trying to be what that man wanted you to be. You fumbled your life, and now you're lonely and you're in the danger zone. So it's like, is this what men are going to tell their daughters moving forward? Like, oh, honey, you got to get a man early. You know what I'm saying? You got to get them locked down while you're in college. You need to be focused on what a man wants. At the end of the day, it is safe to be who you want to be, and also be who that man wants. It's not a choice. It's not a choice
That's not
that
true.
you have to make.
That's cap. That's
thank you, Janelle.
100%.
How so?
It's cap because
So you
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
no. Go ahead.
It's cap because you ignoring that the overwhelming majority of these women that's calling into this show is single, and they are in a space to where they don't have love, and they are in a space to where they've done these things that's not working for them. If they were already successful at this thing in which they've been able to do both, then they wouldn't be calling into the show in the first place. So you gotta understand that he's not speaking to everybody. He's speaking specific.
But they weren't trying to do both. They weren't trying to do both. They made a choice. They made a choice.
Into the
And
show is not. They are not successful in their dating life. Is my point. And he's trying to help them to understand, if you want this specific type of man, I'm not talking, he's not saying if you just want any man or if you just want a regular guy. If
Oh
you
yeah, I get that.
want plant,
Yeah.
if you want this level type of man, this is what they're saying they want. And so this is the criteria that you have to meet. It's not an if and or. Like, if you want to rock, then you do this. If you don't, then go ahead and live your life. He's not stopping you. He ain't making people call. He just letting them know exactly what it is that they need to do if this is what they're looking for.
Hey, Anton, I had a question for you. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry, guest.
No, I was just saying nothing is absolute.
Right.
Nothing is absolute. Nothing is absolute.
That's my problem with
Number
it.
two. Number two.
Yeah.
Also, Anton, as you said, if these women have, they may have gotten it wrong in what their goal is. They may have taken the wrong path in what their goal is. That may be true, but at the end of the day, it's too many quote unquote regular guys repeating this. Kevin Samuels verbatim saying what women ain't doing and all of this mess. It's regular guys who aren't in that 10%, 1%. They are regurgitating this. So
he got smoke for them
where's
too.
the line drawn?
He got smoke
Where's the line drawn?
when they call in and say, "Yo, this is what I am." He questioned him too. He grilled him too. So the standards is both. It's the same on both sides. It's just that women are overwhelmingly the ones that's having a conversation afterwards. That's saying they heard about what it is that he's saying. It ain't the guy.
I got a question for you, Anton, and I know
that's interesting.
Like we were talking about like winners and losers, right? Or I feel like sometimes the phrase is like the word is about have and have nots, right? So with these women that call in and they're seeking this high value man, which is what top 10% people that's making 100K. I'm sorry, like what 6 figures or above. We still haven't defined whether it's 100K or 900K, but nonetheless. So if there's a woman that's 35 years of age, has 2 kids or something like that, but they're dating somebody that is not making 6 figures, did they lose? Since we say that this is something that a woman should aspire to get to date a high value man. So if they're dating someone, let's say they are dating someone, but they're dating someone right now that does not make 6 figures, did they lose in life?
No, they didn't lose in life, but they lost. If they're seeking a specific type of guy that he's labeling, and they say, this is what I want, and I'm not settling for less, and they don't get it, anything that you don't get that's your goal is a loss, is my point. And so he caters to a specific demographic. And if this is what you want, then don't complain when I tell you the criteria. We go on these jobs. Did you lose if you don't become an astrophysicist and you didn't meet the criteria? Like, you didn't lose in life, but you lost at that specific opportunity because you didn't meet the expectations. So in everything in life, there's an expectation. If you want this car, you got to pay $100,000. If you want this specific job, then you got to get the degree. You got to do this. Nobody can just say, "Oh, I want to be a doctor," and that's the end of the conversation. But then when it comes to
you got to put in the work.
Our love interest, when somebody else can have preferences, also we say, "Oh no, that's not acceptable. Let's all validate each other," and that is not how life works.
Well, can we get to look? So I want to dig a little bit deeper on this.
Hey, next when you get finished, I got a caller too.
Okay, I want to dig in just a little bit more before we move on. Where it's like, let's say, so we have these group of people, right? You have this high value man that makes, 6 figures or higher. Then you have this woman that is seeking someone that's 6 figures or higher.
Slightly though, because a high value man is not just the guy that makes 6 figures. There's character that goes along with it. There's a lot of other things that go with it.
But that's part of the criteria, though, that even if you have character,
no,
you don't have.
I just want to correct it for the viewer because they think it's all money and it's not money. So it's not just money.
But that's part of the criteria, though, right? So you still can be deemed as high value, even if you have character. But if you don't make the money, then you're not considered high value, then, right?
That's correct.
So why is it that, for these women that are calling in, why is it? Because this is the part that I think I struggle with that's not even about Kevin Samuels. Why is it that we have women that this is part of their criteria that they feel that they need to find someone that not just have character, but they have to make specifically 6 figures or higher. That's the part that is a very unique criteria, but the why, that's the part that I still struggle with.
That's a conversation. That's a completely different conversation. That's not.
But those are people that's calling in, though, right? They want somebody that has 6 figures but high character. But why is there a need?
But see, again, that's what we should be asking them, not Kevin Samuels. You should ask the women why they feel the way they feel and why they.
Well, yeah, that's my question. Which I'm sorry, I'm not directing it specifically to you, but I'm opening it up maybe to you and Tawana, where it's like, well, why is that a thing? You know, because that's the part where
I mean, they explain why. They usually explain why. I mean, one woman, she herself was making 6 figures, and so I guess she felt like the man she was with should match her, or at least more. And then there was some instances where women just felt like that's the lifestyle that they want to live, and they want a man to be able to sustain their lifestyle. It was so many different reasons why women felt like they needed a man who was at least making 6 figures, and they thought that was like the bare minimum. Like they didn't think that was like.
Okay. All right, we could move on, Jay. I'm sorry. Okay. I know you got a guess, so we could table it.
All right, go ahead, caller. Who's this calling in?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. So the way I see Kevin Samuels, honestly, is he is saying for guys, hey, listen, if you want to get the best caliber of women you can get for yourself, this is what you have to do because this is what women want. So get this stat in your life to the highest possible stat it can be. And from that point, you can pick from the best woman you want. And for women, he's saying, okay, if you want the best kind of man you can get, this is what you have to do. It's not even about getting the highest quality, the high value man. It's about getting the best kind of man you can get for yourself. What he's really saying is like, get the best thing you can for yourself. And to do that, you're going to have to work on yourself. And a lot of people nowadays just kind of want to show up and say, hey, take me as I am. And that's why a lot of people have issues with, at least the way I see it, that's why a lot of people have issues with what he's saying, because a lot of people just think you show up and you should just get an award for showing up. But that's not how it is. I mean, I enjoy his content because it tells me like, all right, there's still a lot of growing I need to do in my life. That's how I see it. That's how I see his content, because I'm like, okay, I have a lot more room to grow. And especially like, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I want you to finish your point so I can respond to that. Go ahead.
Well, it's me personally, like being a plumber, trying to get into real estate, purchasing houses right now. It really helps me to guide my life in a proper direction, listening to exactly what he's saying. As well as it's not even just about getting money. It's also about bringing yourself to the best possible self you can be, whether that comes from clothing, whether that comes from increasing your network. Like it's a giant broad field that he helps people out with. For some reason, a lot of people want to focus on, how he's delivering his message. And it's not like, there's so much more value behind how he's delivering. So, continue.
Appreciate you, Sam. I think you spoke beautifully. I think you elaborated your point very, very beautifully.
Thank you.
All right, Tawana, you wanted to respond?
Yeah, I don't disagree with him for those reasons that you presented. And I don't validate him for the very thing that you are saying is the reason why he has a platform. And that is because he tells you what he thinks is the best thing for you. Like if you want this type of person, that's the best thing you can get. He puts people in this hierarchy, and it's a superficial way to judge people. And that is primarily why I have an issue with the content. No, I don't think that it's anything wrong with being realistic in your dating expectations and someone being truthful with you about your expectations. I am the first person to want people to be honest with me. What I have a problem with is not the delivery, but also with the message that he gives people. And just actually everything that you said, that message to me can be problematic, especially when you're judging people based on whatever these values that you value or his values, which everybody has different values, and we shouldn't all have to and I don't think he's saying or forcing anyone to think a certain way. But what I'm saying is he's pushing certain values on people and on a group of people and saying that this is what people in this salary range, this is what they think. Everybody has these values. And so this is how you should be. And I don't agree with that message. But of course he has something to say. Everybody has a person that they value and they follow. But for me, the person who tells me something and who gives me advice, that their life needs to reflect their advice that they're giving me. That their life needs to be a product of everything that they're saying to me. And that's my opinion. My post, let me clarify this too. My post was about my experience watching his show. It wasn't about specific individuals in the group. It wasn't about comments that the people made in the group. My post was, okay, I've watched several of his episodes and heard these women who call into his show. The women to me sound like women who are miserable in their life, period. Like they're just miserable. Or they were single and having trouble dating, which we have said both of those things were true, that the people were single. The women who call his show are single. I didn't say that they were both. I didn't say because she's single, she's miserable. No. There was one woman who called in and I absolutely felt like she was the saddest, like most depressed person I saw. So when I made my comment, I was like, who calls his show that is happy? That is like a woman who has a life that I want to live, a woman who represents women that I value and that I look up to. I don't see those type of women calling the show. That's what I'm saying. That was my whole purpose in the post. And when people responded, I was asking, okay, tell me somebody somebody that we would respect as a woman, right? Like if Michelle Obama was in our group, right? If we respect her, tell me, Michelle, how do you truly feel? Like, do you listen to this man and value what his words based on the things that he's saying? And I'm just saying that if there's no woman that I value that's a fan of his show, then I just don't really see why women are connecting to it. So I guess I was trying to get clarity, and men helped me see a different side of it. Actually, a couple men, showed me a different side of it because I was like, okay, I think JR, you liked my comment because I was like, okay, you guys helped me see a whole nother side. Like I didn't even think about it in that way, right? And I still stand by that.
Don't mind me asking.
Oh, let me think about that. JR, do you remember exactly what their side was? Because I feel like one guy told me, hey, he's talking to these women who feel like they want a man who's high value. They have all these expectations for men, right? But yet they themselves, have all these issues and things that they need to work on. And so he's pretty much basically telling them like, these are things that you really need to work on and that things that you should be working on if this is the type of man you want. However, this is not really a realistic goal for you. I'm just telling you that you have a long way to go if that's what you want. So the guy was kind of explaining to me, Kevin Samuel's position on that, and not that he was discrediting every woman or feeling like women can't find love, but just seeing it from that perspective. And so I understood that, I was like, oh, okay. Like I didn't see it from that perspective at first, obviously, because we always see the criticisms that Kevin Samuels, that's what people highlight. And I didn't see it from that. And I don't remember the second point, but the second point was really good too. And I don't know, JR, if you remember it, but it was a really good second point that
After all that, you still don't with this message.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
You're coming in kind of choppy.
Yeah.
It's your last point. We got to move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I guess my last thing I'll say is to Anton. I didn't see the time with the 2 watches, so if you could put on the bigger one so I could see the time a little bit better.
What?
I don't care.
I don't care.
Not set. There you go.
What happened to B Nick?
Yo.
Check the messages.
Oh,
Appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you for calling in.
All right, thanks. Bye.
sorry, I missed that.
No, it's fine. I had to follow
We
up
all
to figure
have
out
an
what was
opinion.
going
What's to say, right?
on. Yeah.
Your opinion is good. My opinion is good. We just all have our different perspectives, and I guess that's the point because Kevin's not talking to everybody, right? He's talking to certain people, and maybe that's why I don't resonate with it, or it doesn't resonate in my life. I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't find value in it. But those guys in the group, I have to go back to those comments. They really did help me see it from a different side. So
if y'all want some insight on how Rolexes work, I can give y'all some insight. I know you wanted to see the time. Maybe that's what he was getting at.
what in the hell are we filming the show for if this is the type of stupid shit that's gonna happen? Come on now. Let's move on.
Yeah, we're moving
I'm
on.
done. Okay, thank you.
Eddie, that's why.
This is so dang on crazy.
All right, if you guys are just tuning
I
in.
got kids.
If you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef. Let's talk. We're moving on to our third topic, which is, do men and women cheat for the same reasons? Do men and women cheat for the same reasons? Anton.
I don't think so. I think that men most of the time they cheat. I think men cheat. Most men, and obviously you can't put everybody in a box, but I think the overwhelming majority of men that cheat because out of convenience. Like it's not something that they're looking to do. I think that dudes get caught up and then wind up start having whole side chicks and things like that. But most of the situations that I've ever heard of dudes moving a specific type of way is because it was just an opportunity that they took advantage of. But it's nothing more than that. Like it's nothing more than whatever it is that they did versus women. I find that they cheat either out of revenge or out of emotion. And so I don't know any woman personally, and I've had some of these talks extensively. I don't know women personally that literally separate the revenge part, right? I don't know women that could just cheat because out of sport. Like I don't know women that just like they in a really deep committed relationship or marriage, and then a dude walk up to them and then that's just the end of the conversation and it's on. Like I don't know women that do that. I know women are generally very calculated and they have a purpose behind why they do things versus it just being something to do. So either revenge or emotion. But for guys, I know that it's guys that can just rock out just because that's just what they was feeling at the time, or maybe they was thinking with their other head and it was just the thing to do and they really have no attachment to that specific woman and it just happened and it's over. So I think that men and women absolutely cheat for different reasons and it shows in how they move when they do it.
Hey, Anton, do you feel as though women cheat because they're not happy within a relationship? I know you mentioned revenge. Go ahead.
I don't think it's because they're not happy. I just think that there's other things that they can emotionally connect to. Like it may be a moment because happiness is a wide-reaching net, right? They can be happy with their situation, but not necessarily be happy with the attention that they get. You know what I'm saying? So I think that they can separate the two, and that can drive a specific thing. Obviously, revenge is a whole nother conversation, but I think that women are not necessarily they'll say happiness and use that as the excuse or the platform by which they create the narrative as to why they did what they did. Oh, I wasn't happy. Oh, you wasn't spending enough time, so I was in a different type of space, or whatever that is. But I don't think happiness as a blanket statement is an accurate representation of why they do what they do.
Yeah, I think men don't have that emotional connection. I do agree with you. I think men just cheat because either it's an opportunity or they can. Sometimes I feel as though women do allow men to cheat, and when I say that, meaning that they create the space and the opportunity for them to be able to move like that. You don't agree, Tawana?
How can somebody create a space for you to cheat? Like, your values and morality is what creates a space for you to cheat. If you feel like that's your character and that's what you do, like, you're open to that. I just don't believe that you can blame that on somebody. That's your choice. I mean, I agree with both of you guys to a certain extent. I mean, but I do think that, there are similarities in the reasons why people cheat in general, in relationships. And I do think that, that they're rooted in, fundamentally who women are and who men are, right? And our need to be emotionally tied to someone, and men who, can walk away without any emotional tie at all. That is just kind of what happens as a result of cheating. But the reasons why we cheat, to me, are similar, in that, like, men feel bored in their relationship. They feel, they want more options. They feel like there's a lot of different reasons why men cheat, and then women cheat for the same thing. I mean, and performance reasons are huge on both sides. Sometimes women aren't performing, the way men want them to perform. And then, men don't perform enough for women. So sometimes women cheat for that reasons. I think as a result, they may end up having some sort of emotional connection to the person that they're cheating with, which, may then impact their current relationship.
Who are you referring to? Women?
Women, yeah,
okay.
Women can sometimes. Now, there's some women out here that can desensitize and separate just as easily. But for the most part, what I see is that sometimes women will have that emotional tie, right, to the person. And but I do see that there's similar reasons why people cheat in general, men and women. And I think it's consistent, and that it's some issues within, the relationship, and they feel like, they want to escape that. And that is the reason why essentially you see people going out. And especially when you get older, I mean, it's not just about, it's an opportunity. Sometimes it's really about, like, man, I'm just not really fulfilled in this situation anymore. And I'm curious as to if somebody else out there can do it for me.
I know dudes that cheat out of sport. It ain't got nothing to do with home.
Yeah. No, I do think that happens as well. I mean, I'm not discounting those people who just have character flaws and just cheat for absolutely no reason and always will be a cheater. Of course, that happens. I mean, but I'm just saying that I think that a lot of the reasons are similar, and the root of it is similar. And it's not exact, obviously, because everybody has their own individual reasons for cheating. But yeah, if I was to just what I've observed and what I see, it can be very, very similar reasons why men and women cheat.
I want to ask you guys, do you feel as though the upbringing of men and women has an impact on whether they cheat or not?
You can go ahead, Tawana.
Yeah, I mean, because a lot of I had one male friend who his father like had a whole like another family, and he grew up knowing that like behind his mother's back, right? He knew about the second family, he knew about his siblings and things like that. So he was like,
what?
Going from, and he didn't tell his mother, he didn't tell her, and she had no idea. But the father, he never lived with his mother either, so he was always able to kind of move in and out of people's homes. So I guess, JR, if you're saying in that perspective where, you know, women kind of give you a a platform to cheat, you know, I guess that's it, right? Because, you know, you really can't tell a man to, you know, you can't tell him not to go nowhere. He don't live with you. He can go wherever he want to go. So I think that he saw that, and then he grew up and he thought it was kind of normal. Like, he kind of had a side chick, you know, the whole time that he was in a relationship. It was like something that he just was taught to do. He just didn't, you know. And I mean, I don't think that was the only reason, but I do think that that impacted his decision. He was just kind of like, I mean, every dude, and in his mind, every man had a side chick. That's what he used to tell me. Like, you know, every man gonna, like, your husband gonna have a chick on the side. Like, you need to be prepared for that. And he used to tell me that all the time. And I think that he really honestly thought that, because that was his experience growing up. And that's what he saw. His uncles, that's what he saw in his life. And that's what he also recreated. So I agree that has some impact for sure.
So has he changed? Are you still currently?
No, he don't. He haven't changed.
He hasn't changed, still the same way?
No, he still got her and they both years in. He still got them both, and I don't think he's gonna let them go either.
And it's our same question: does the upbringing of the man or the woman has an impact on whether they cheat or not?
Yeah, I can't necessarily speak for women. I don't really know about whether or not they're. I mean, I would assume so, but I know for men specifically, like, character has always been a huge portion of, you know, a lot of even my family. So, like, you know, my dad was one of the most stand-up dudes that I've ever seen in my life, and that influenced everything that I do in my life. Like, anything that I do, I first evaluate how it's going to impact the different things that I'm doing or what I got going on. And that's influenced by specifically him. So yeah, I do think that I know it impacts men specifically. I'm not really sure how it impacts women, but I do think that the things that you see growing up does play a huge role in how you move. So yeah, I do think that it influences men.
I definitely think it impacts women the same, because if you see your mother with multiple men, you know, or you see women around you do that, then more than likely that's something that you will learn. And I'm not saying that if a woman is like that, she learned it from her mother, because sometimes it's other outside influences, friends and everything else that, you know, can, you know, cause that. But absolutely, if you witness, you know, aunties, cousins, you witness that, it's probably gonna have an impact on you in your life for sure.
Hey, B Nix, you all right? I ain't know if you was in the back in another room stomping around and all of that, because you know, he was bothered by some of the
hitting the beanie bag.
Yeah, like throwing stuff and all that.
Throwing that stuff.
You wasn't in there.
No, I wasn't. Actually, I don't know like how like this narrative created that I'm emotional, that I'm really not. But
well, Anton created
the story that we're going
he created
with.
that. And it's so many people that listen to him. They listen to everything he say.
Well, it's funny because the thing is, I've sat up here and said I don't like holding hands, I don't like crying, I don't like all this shit. But yet I'm the emotional person. That's the part. It's just funny how like the story is split. Like,
you're not emotional.
He's gonna build you back up and then break you back down. It's beautiful.
No, I just like people to know how I feel about some shit. I do. I like people, when I talk from a very passionate.
To make you feel better, I'll have my daughter put the green boxes up. Okay.
Nah, man, we don't got no green boxes here, man.
Hey, Nick, staying on topic. Do men and women cheat for the same reasons?
Say that again.
Do men and women cheat for the same reasons?
I don't think so. I think men look at it like I'm gonna say like it's transactional. Like, hey, I want more, I agree, I'm gonna cheat because the opportunity is there. I'm gonna seize the moment. I think with women, something aspect of wanting this level of connectedness of filling a void, something that's not happening with the current person, that I'm seeking this level of fulfillment. Hey, low key, I feel like guys also run game this way too by saying like, hey, you know, like man, I want to kick it with you. You know, are you the one I really want to do a situation right now? Nah, she like you and all. Yeah, so guys play on that. They
Be a
feel like
savage before you know it, huh?
yeah, the mental aspect of one of the a guy cheat based on just the opportunity. It's almost like how like every dude talk about they got a bad chick. Everybody wants a bad chick. Don't get me wrong, or a bad woman. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to disrespect nobody, but the thing is, it's one of those like, hey, quiet as kept. Anything that's moving, hey, a guy is
So
gonna
you
try to
think?
see.
So y'all think that men don't cheat because they're not being sexually satisfied in their relationship?
I don't
No,
think it's that. I think they are being
No,
sexually
I'm saying,
satisfied.
so you're saying that no man cheat for that reason.
I can't say for no man. I think the overwhelming majority of the guys, that is not the driving factor at all. Not even a little bit.
And you guys don't think that
It's all ego and opportunity.
a man in a relationship where the woman, you know, maybe she nagging all the time, she always on his case, she never got nothing positive to say, like he doesn't find a woman who maybe, you know, she may approach him a little softer, a little nicer. He might not find that more attractive, and those reasons. So
That's
you
cool.
only think that it's only because of opportunity?
I don't think they lead with that. I think over the course of time is like cheating and then becomes this affair where it's like a recurring thing where then you beyond just, you know, the booty is like, hey, I just want to like spending time with you or something like that. But that's over the course of just, you know, going back again. But I think leading with is just opportunity is there. A woman provides access to you. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna take full advantage. And I think at that moment, it's a stance. Do I cheat or do not cheat? I think it's just that simple.
Yeah.
I think there's a mental aspect to it that a guy has to know, hey, am I willing to cheat?
Well, that's the difference, because women, we definitely, I'm sorry about that, y'all. Women, we definitely have a reason. There's just not going to be like, oh, I just
don't get
cheated.
the reason. It just sounds like it's a good one.
But you just said like it's just by chance. Like, oh, you know.
Yeah, it's like, but
I met a girl at the gas station, right?
Opportunity is there, the access. So that's my reason, because access and opportunity, and it just seems right for that moment. I think when we are planning in it, you know, ahead, seeing themselves and kind of emotionally seeing themselves with someone else, that's something different, man. I mean, it's cheating, but it's a different, you know. Like, I don't think a guy is cheating with finding a replacement, if that makes any sense. I think that the opportunity is there, but am I trying to replace what I got? But do I want to test the market, whether, hey, do I still got it? I think with women it's just the catering too, because sometimes, I mean, with guys, they treat they side chick better than they got. I'm gonna tell you all that you want to hear.
You
I'm
said
gonna say, you know, come on. I'm sure not you, Twin. Good morning, Queen. How you doing, Sunshine? How's your day? You want me to feed you some lunch? All that shit. It feels good. It feels good.
Nobody doing all that. I'm not checking on you. I don't want to see you.
That sounds so stupid. I ain't checking on you.
And next, read the messages.
Yo, you're a moment.
I feel like
you are not to be nurtured. You are there for a moment. That is the end of the conversation. And as a matter of fact, yo, I might change my phone number right after. I don't want to kick it. I don't want to talk.
It's hard to change your number, like especially if you had that number for a long time. You don't want to change your number every time.
Like you ain't even got
right. Why she got your number? That's what I was gonna say. But you slipping, Anton. She shouldn't even have your number. That's the problem.
There's a question right here. It says, you know, what if you fall in love with the side chick?
They do. They do.
You a sucker. That's what you are.
Anton, they fall in love with the side chick all the time. That's why it's dangerous.
And you a sucker. And that's what any dude falling in love, that means you emotionally connected. That means you've been spending time. That means that you really nurturing a relationship. Fam, if you don't get on out of here with
But
that,
people do it. I mean, think about back in the day, folks used to set
They
up
do.
whole separate families. They would leave
I know,
their family and
those
set
are
up
the
shop with
suckers.
another family.
Those are the suckers, man.
I told you it was. I
Nah,
told
man,
you I
people
know
did that
two.
back in the day. That was a
No,
thing.
they was suckers back then. They just carrying on a tradition now.
I told you it's two people I know that married their side chick. Married her.
Hey, Nick, before you came back, the question on the table also was, does upbringing of the man and the woman affect them when it comes to cheating?
Oh yeah.
We're a product of our environment. So yeah, we learn behaviors based on our environment. Now the thing is, I think that we always kind of look at it from the lens of like my mother and father. Man, it's your environment. It's not about your mother and father. You may see your aunt, your uncle, you see it on TV. Like all that's part of your environment. Like think about social media is right now part of folks' current environment. So the thing is, it's cool to cheat. That's the way that like it's portrayed. So yeah, it's learned. It definitely is. But that's where it goes back to choice. A level of maturity of understanding choice. Like, okay, I can say, hey, my pops cheated, right? So then at that moment, do I then say like, well, because my pops cheated, then I'm a cheat because that's what we do. Or it's like, well, because my pops cheated, I'm not gonna cheat. You know, so it's just it to me, I like to talk through it, but really just to simplify it, yeah, it's learned behavior, and at that moment you have the choice of whether you want to choose that path or not, to cheat or not to cheat.
Is it inevitable though? Like, do you know 50-year marriages, 20-year marriages where infidelity has just not happened?
Yep, I know a bunch of them that it hasn't happened.
Yeah. So is it something that people can look forward to as, hey, you know, it's not necessarily going to happen to you just because this is, you know.
I don't know. I would feel like almost I would need to know enough people that's been married to see whether it was any infidelities.
You
Also,
don't know a lot of married people?
I said do not.
You don't? No, I'm asking. You don't?
No, not like that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm talking about family and friends. Like I'm not just talking about my peer group. Like low key, I remember my aunt, you know, rest in peace, Aunt Ella. Like I remember she came to my wedding. She like, baby, you know, this is like the third wedding I ever been to, you know, and she was my old head, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's just people. I still believe people don't get married like that. Like that, like, you know, yeah, you want to inspire to get married. Cheating happens, but you know what? Drugs happen, cheating happens, I lost my job happens. So going back to the vows and everything else that is supposed to be sacred about the union, hey, then what do? I think that's the moment where you figure out, hey, how real is your relationship? Are y'all gonna push through, or is like I'm out? Now the thing is, is it inevitable? It's up to them two people or whether they make the commitment not to cheat, man. And if it happens, then what? That's the part that like you don't know. You could sit up here and act like you know how you're gonna handle a situation until it happens to you. And then it's like that's the test right there between you and that person on what happens then. Because then you got cheat. If you cheated, how did you find out? Did you tell the person like, hey, yeah, you know, I just want to let you know, or it's like, oh shit, you check my iPhone. Also, you know, it's it's different things, man. So cheating, it happens. I'm not saying that it's like 100%. You know, I don't want to mislead nobody by saying like, well, that's why I don't get married. It's up to them two people in their union and how real it is. Because it's kind of the older you get and the longer you with somebody, it's like it's a respect thing too. And it's like, do you have enough respect to not cheat anymore?
I guess you never know what's going on in people's marriages and their relationships. But, you know, you just see some relationships where they just work so well together and they've been together for years and years and years. And you just hope that, you know, whatever it is, they were able to get through it. Like my uncle and auntie have been married 47 years. You know, I would never want to envision that one of them ever did anything like that.
Yeah,
so
but that's the idea like that we want to fall in love with. That's what
that's right. Exactly.
Because I'm gonna bring it back, Anton. Like, hey, folks be setting traps. And I know, Tawana, you ain't want to hear that, but it's a different aspect. It's another layer. It's another lane that we're talking about.
That
Folks
trap.
are setting traps that, as far as access and opportunity, we just said that for men, access and opportunity. So I'm gonna set a trap to give you access to me to cheat.
Mhm.
Oh, you talking about the women or
Yeah.
people set traps for them? That's why I don't
So
trust
then
no.
what?
That's why I don't trust no heifers around my man. Like,
It
Well, I
no,
ain't
guess
about
we
being
can.
no helper.
stay back, stay back.
We're
No,
all
I'm just
human
saying.
beings. We're born in sin.
I'm just-
We're
you
born in
can't-
sin.
listen, you can't
Well,
watch.
I guess
you
we
can't
can.
watch that movie.
I guess we can agree this and say this, that men and women do cheat, for some things are the same
Yeah,
and some
Tawana
things are
said
not the
women
same.
cheat too.
Yeah, women
Yeah.
do
Yeah,
cheat.
all day.
Women cheat back.
Nick's trying to throw it out there. If you're just tuning in to Lapeef, Let's Talk, we appreciate you guys. Moving on to our final and last topic, which is, can women survive without men? Can women survive without men, B. Nicks?
And you know, I was thinking about that when you posted in the group survival and stuff, you know. Cause you know I'm a dig in, like, well,
Think about it.
that,
Really
you know?
think about it.
Can they survive? Like,
Can women survive without men?
Like, they gonna die without men? Did they die though? You know, yeah. I mean, they could
If
survive.
they 35?
I guess that's the golden number.
JR. But boom, where that at?
But you know, I always bring this up. Like, hey, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That is one of the needs, the sense of belongingness that people want to feel connected to someone, right? So the thing is, like, hey, can they survive? Yeah, they probably can, but there's always a level of companionship that we all want to be with somebody. You know what I'm saying? There's no one person that is going to sit up here and agree and say, like, yeah, I want to be single forever. I've never heard that before. They may say, I'm single right now, or I'm choosing to be single, or because of my situation, I'm now single. But the thing is, hey, can the woman survive? Yeah, folks can pay bills, go to work, eat, drink, do whatever they want. Can they survive? Yeah. Can they pay their own bills? Yeah. Can they buy their own house? Yeah. So yeah, they can survive. But as far as having that person, that union they want to be with, that's tough on anybody. Because imagine, because thing is, we joke about it, but I want you to think about, like,
You
being,
surprising me tonight.
huh?
I'm speechless. Go ahead.
Think about you being your 80-year-old version of yourself, right? And you by yourself. When you get older, you reflect on life and it's lonely. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, you want to be able to continue that union with somebody. So the thing is, can a woman survive without a man? As far as the functions of being alive, hell yeah. Now the thing is, do they want to be with someone? I'm sure. Whether it's a man, a woman, or whatever, everybody wants companionship. So how you define survival, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Tawana, can women survive without men?
I mean, humanity can't survive without men. We need to recreate with men. I don't see how that's possible. I mean, the men are, you know, to me, the men provide that balance. Like, I don't want to be in this world without a man. I just don't understand that kind of world. Like, I need that balance. I need a man to, you know, bring a different perspective for me. But I just don't even think humanity can survive without a man. Men are needed in order just to create humans. So,
but we also live in a different society.
No, Nick, let her finish. Nick, let her finish.
And I, you know, and I just feel
Nick,
like
it's too late. Don't try to clean it up now. Go ahead. Nah, Nick, let her finish. Nick, let her finish.
So you act like it's not people that also don't date the same sex.
I'm just saying that me personally, that my personal opinion.
Nobody
is
not trying to clean nothing up.
Humanity.
Queen, go ahead, Queen.
About, bro.
Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead and speak. Go ahead and speak.
Humanity cannot survive without men. Men are the tree of life. I think that they bring a different balance to this world. I think that, you know, that the world as it is would not exist without men. And I just couldn't even imagine that a world without men. So, yep, I can't see that. Nope, I don't. My opinion.
I hear you, Queen. Anton, can women survive without men?
I think Tawana may need a gift for that last thing. Because she's literally giving a sentiment to my heart, but I just want to add on to what she can by saying, if you really look at the history of this entire world, like we built everything. We do the hardest jobs. We fought the wars. We've, literally put things on our back. When you talk about survival, even in the inception of this world of humans in general, like the whole reason behind why us being physically the way that we are is so that we can do a lot of the hard tasks that, was before us prior to us obviously advancing our society to where technology and we have all of the benefits of what we have now. But as far as all of the farming and the hunting and the infrastructure and all of the hard jobs, even if you look at a lot of the hardest jobs that's done today, the line jobs, I'm talking about the lineman that's up, laying the infrastructure as it relates to, or fixing the wires from, floods and electrical outages and stuff like that. It's people, I know guys that work 48 hours straight. And I mean, if you just really look at it, yeah, there are some women that can do it, but we're built to do it. So even if you just take out of the equation the actual physical reproductive aspect of it, I don't think that women can survive without men. I honestly don't. I don't think so.
I don't know. I think it's perspective, man. Because the thing is like, so I got 3 kids, right? I got 2 daughters.
Right.
There will be a point in time where I don't exist, and I'm not here.
What?
And the thing is, it's like, at least, maybe from my small lens, I'm looking at this, like, as far as just living in the world.
Yeah.
They should be able to do just fine without me being here. Because I know that I'm going to die one day. It might be soon. It might be later. But, the thing is, hey, I don't ever want them to feel that they are less than, or they're not able-bodied or have a handicap because of the fact that, like, hey, they don't have a man in their life, and maybe I'm looking at it from different definition of survival than you, but I'm talking about just like day to day.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nix,
I see what you're saying.
do you think that would cause a problem for them growing up with that mentality that you are teaching them? Yeah.
What, to be independent without me?
Tawana,
Yes.
you tell me how you feel about what Nick said.
So, I mean, I didn't even answer your question. You just moved on. Like, you play it. Like, what did you?
No, I'm gonna come back to you. I just want to try to get. I just want to try to get the woman's on the. I just want to get the woman on the panel's opinion.
Hey, are you
real quick,
bro? I appreciate you.
Go ahead, Tawana. Do you agree with what Nick just said?
I don't appreciate him.
I do think that
I don't care.
It's a difference in what Nick is saying and what what I'm saying, but I do think that
the question
women,
is, do you feel as
women
though
we shouldn't
what
be
Nick
taught
said?
We shouldn't be taught to survive without men. I think we're taught that naturally, but I do think it's strength in partnership, and it's strength in that. And even if you do pass away, the fact that your daughters had you in their life and they learned something from you at that time is something that's valuable, that they gonna always have with them, and they gonna always be able to take with them. And I do believe that women are strong, and I think the women are independent, and I understand your perspective 100%. But I do find it problematic to teach women to survive without men, right? I do think that men are necessary, and for all types of different reasons, in balance in life. And I've never been taught just to like not ever want a man around, because my father's still in my life, right? He's always been around. So I guess I have a different perspective. I do get you, B Nick. I just have a different perspective and the way.
I mean,
Hey,
let's be clear, because I'm not.
Next, before you start talking, next, before you start talking, next.
What'd you say?
Next, I said
Hey,
before you start talking.
You know that you are glowing right now.
This is a teaching moment right now.
This is the truth.
Like, this is a teachable moment right now.
You got the whitest teeth.
Okay,
so
who's teaching?
We're teaching.
You teaching
Tawana
me?
been teaching. Yeah, this is a teachable moment right now. We have the queen right here. Just got to speak. We got the queen that you always agree with.
No, I don't always agree with her.
You do always agree with her. Most of the time, you do.
Tawana,
Yeah.
I don't agree with none of y'all on this show. Low-key.
I see today. Today's an off day.
He don't ever.
What are you
agree
talking
with
about, bro? Like, man, hey, I'm me, bro. So answer the question. I don't care. What's the question, bro?
I can't believe he got me laughing on here.
What's your question?
Hold on.
What's your question?
I agree.
I don't care. I mean, I ain't about to sit up here and act like that. You know what? I gotta train my girls to be like, you always have to have a man. The thing is, they need to be an adult, and we sitting up here acting like that a woman got to be dependent upon a man, that they can't function without a man. So the thing is, it's crazy. So the thing is, yeah, I got 2 girls, and you know what? They should be able to do whatever they need to do in order to survive. So the thing is, I know everybody on the panel talking about something different. I don't even know what that is, bro. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't care.
I don't look at it from that lens, that I'm saying that, you know, you have to be dependent on a man and that you cannot be independent. I'm not looking at it from that lens.
Survival, right?
Yeah.
So we said about defining survival. So for me, how I define it, day to day. So the thing is, there will be a point in time I'm not here. The thing is, a woman should be able to feel that she's able to function in this world on her. I'm not saying that like I'm teaching her to say like, hey, guess what? You need to do this because you don't need a man in your life. I'm not about to sit up here with that. But it's not emotional, bro. It's real, man. Hey, Anton, you know what? Hey, forget the question right now. Anton, hey, I got something to say to you, bro. Me and you represent different parts of the world, man. What you talk about, what you live, that ain't me. It ain't. And I ain't even saying like, oh no, like I'm better than you or something like that, but you represent something different. Besides this show, I don't know nobody like you in my circle. And that's probably why half the people I don't really mess with right now.
Shots fired.
But it's just like, hey man, it's some clown shit, man.
I don't really know many people like Anton myself. I think that he's the, you know, I think that's why he's a fan favorite, you know.
Oh, you big man.
I don't care.
You are the first man I've encountered.
No, it's just, but it's funny how like things like, okay, that's my opinion, right? So then, JR, you made this a teachable moment. I still don't know for who, because I'm still sitting up here listening to you talk. That's my opinion. And then now, the only thing is, it's always if I say something, then it's wrong, right?
No, I don't think it's wrong. I just
you said it's a teachable moment. I hear what you're saying, and then you're not hearing what I'm saying.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Take it out.
Like I hear what you're saying. Like if you're not there, then like you want. I have a daughter, so
okay.
Like, I would want her to be strong and independent if she had to, but I'm not going to tell her that she's stronger than a man. You know, like I feel
I'm not
like
sitting up here saying that though. That's the thing. I hate when you try to like interpret what I just said.
The only thing I was doing was just clear. I was just trying to clarify.
But no, you're not. You're complicating what I just said.
No, I'm not complicating what you said. It's okay, Nix.
I didn't say it. So don't try to act like, hey, like, oh yeah, you don't need a man or this. I didn't say that. I don't care. I said in this world, there will be a point in time where like folks are gonna like, I'm not saying on no apocalypse type of shit, but day to day, you talked about survival. Life is about survival of the fittest. If you are a woman or a man, you should be able to work independently on your own.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about, Anton. Like
I do understand what you're saying.
I don't get that either. But
I understand what you're saying, B Nick. I
know. Tawana, I'm sorry to cut you off. Anton, you on some clown shit, bro. Like I really don't even get like what other under subtopic that you trying to imply. But if you're gonna say it, just say it, bro. I ain't about to sit up here on some whole shit just because you up here trying to make it. No, for real, man. I'll beat your ass, G.
All right, y'all.
It looks like we won't be meeting up. Let's talk anytime.
Oh, that's so funny, bro.
I feel like
look, we appreciate
No, don't shut it down. Let him get it
we can talk. Hey, I'm here.
I don't think you really understand, like,
off. he got
OG
big.
Nick is for real. Like he's like a real.
Hey man, I just don't like being discredited. Don't discredit me.
What's
That's
wrong?
my thing. Respect my opinion, man. Don't you too, JR. Don't sit up here and discredit me like I'm a clown, G.
No, for real though, like y'all do need to respect people's opinion.
Oh,
Well, that's one of the things that I've been preaching all around the show, just respecting each other's opinion, because we have to listen to other
Look,
people's
we
opinion.
already get beat down by everybody else. We
Yeah.
should respect each other, like for sure.
No, I mean it's all. I mean it's not that serious like that. I don't think it's
Hey,
to
man,
that level. I
I
just
got
think
my
that we
voice
all.
to speak, man. So the
Yeah,
thing
go
is,
ahead.
that's my opinion. So
He wants
this
his
teachable
voice.
moment or whatever little like try to build up story that you was trying to create, I ain't for that, man.
Like I understood exactly where you was coming from.
Listen, lower
I'm
your
still
voice,
trying to learn the lesson
lower your voice,
that I was
strengthen
supposed
your
to be.
argument.
I was still
Lower
trying to
your
learn the
voice,
lesson. I'm supposed to be a
strengthen
student.
your argument. Just because you talking tough don't mean nothing to nobody.
You right. You right.
I mean, but you all have to understand.
Hey, come on, you guys, stay on topic. Stay on topic.
Nah,
I
bro,
think people are saying like B Nix is being emotional, but you have to understand he was being poked the entire show. It's not like he started to be emotional.
Hey, stop that, Tawana.
Yeah.
The thing is, I said what I said.
Yeah.
No. Hold on, wait. Hold on. Give us a second, Tawana. Because we can handle this like men. We can really deal with it. Go ahead, get your big man feelings off, man. I'm right here.
That's all I had to say. I answered the question. You asked me a question. I gave my response.
Why you so emotional, bro?
Huh?
Why you so emotional?
It's not emotion. See, it's not emotion, G. That's just how I talk.
That's so corny, bro. You so corny for this.
I'm corny. Okay.
You so corn. You a cornball, bro. That's real talk.
All right.
Yes,
sure.
You corny, bro, because you letting these internet emotions and some cards dictate your emotions, and now making you mad.
I'm not even mad, man. But the thing is like, don't discredit me. That's the only thing. Like, and I wasn't even directing that to you. That's the thing. The whole time, like this segment, I'm talking to JR. JR, my brother, man. So
yeah, but here's the key though, because you didn't say JR, I'll beat your ass. You said it to me. Now
because you kept trying to laugh over me.
Wait.
You got the little signs
because I'm not emotional.
That to you, G.
Because I'm not emotional,
It's not emotional, G.
See, you don't even let me talk because you emotional.
Go ahead. I'm a mute.
But because I'm not emotional, I ain't take no slight in it because I understand how people move a certain type of way. I don't take it personal. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm base everything I do on logic. So you getting all extra about it and saying and making all of the tough threats, like, yeah, we both can do that. Like, and then what? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make for anything. So the point is that you probably should look in the mirror and start to evaluate who you are and what you look like in your role and what you plan and what you perpetuating. Because if I'd have joined you along with that, then it could have became something that was real nasty and real ugly, and it wouldn't have been nice for nobody. So my point is that the strength is in the restraint. The strength is being able to control yourself. The strength is your ability to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, what role am I playing in this? And make adjustments accordingly. I'm going to laugh at you. I'm going to laugh it off because I know it don't mean nothing. You don't really have no power to touch nothing or nobody in my space. So, you know what I'm saying? My point is that I'm open to the possibility that we can continue to move on cordially and we don't have to have no beef or nothing like that. But, I mean, you know, if you want to continue to go down that path, I don't think that that's a smart thing to do. I don't advise it, and it ends up in a zero-sum game for no reason.
Hey, whatever, bro. The thing is, like, I said what I said, man. Like, it ain't no emotion. The thing is, like, this is the part that I want to clarify, and that was the part I was saying even early in the show. If I say something, it's not emotional, man. So the thing is, I didn't know that, like, because I'm saying something, it's emotional. It's how I think. And the thing is, based on our cognition, we make our thoughts and articulate how we feel about shit, right? So the thing is, it's like, it has nothing to do with me being emotional. But the thing is, I do have an issue with the fact that, like, hey, if I speak, we're both men, right? I've always told you I ain't got nothing personally against you. But the thing is, I don't like to be like discredited as if you know, we're talking in a general sense. The signs and stuff, the little watches, you know, well, not even little. All that, Anton, that was all unnecessary. But I'll let you have your moments through these shows and stuff, you know. But the thing is like, I don't know what you was trying to show me up when I speak about like this money you got. I've been clear the whole time. I don't got that money. I don't want that though. So the thing is like, it's you have to, if you're gonna tell the story, tell the whole story, the culminating event. And that's what I think, Tawana. I'm no shade to you, Tawana. That's what you were trying to articulate. But I wanted, Anton, for you to hear it from me, right? So the thing is, I've been very clear. I don't got nothing against you. I'm gonna call you after this, or not. I don't know if you want to talk to me. You know, you might not, which is cool. But it's one of those like, hey, it is what it is, man. These are just opinions, man. It's perspectives.
But you're the only person that's taking it serious enough for it to be more than that. Like
right.
You say,
you know what? Maybe it's me.
When you say stuff to me, I just
I've
laughed at
had my
John.
moments. I've had my moments.
You're right.
When you say stuff to me, I just take it on the chin and I'll be like, yo, that was funny. It's entertainment. It's like capping on somebody. We call it capping here, but like telling it is what it is. Like, I ain't tripping off that. I know who you are in real life, and I know the value that you bring. I know you're a good father. I know all of this. So it's just all a part of entertainment.
But I've always been like that, though. Even when we talked about the protest.
And that's cool. But at the same time, my point is that if you dish it, you're going to have to be able to take the jokes on the other side.
I agree. And I'm good. And I said that.
All right. Well, then we
cool. What I said.
And then we cool. We ain't got no problems.
I said I'm good, man. But I did have to say what I said, though. Hey, I don't need no audience. I mean, no applause. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. But
we knew y'all was going to work it out.
I don't care. It's not even about working out. And the thing is, I know y'all watching and stuff. You know, like, that's the part, JR, you got us still recording. We're not even talking about nothing related to the topic. But I still feel how I feel about survival.
Hey,
this is my thing.
That's what makes this show real, man. Wait till we start doing it in person.
This is my thing, though. Anton get mad, too. And he gets emotional. And we all do at some point. I hate when people act like... The only person that I have never seen display emotion is JR. And, oh, no. Actually, I will take that back because JR has gotten emotional as well. We all have reacted to this show.
And it's not intentional.
It's nothing wrong with it because it makes us human. It makes us human. Now, I am the most emotional, but shouldn't I be, though? Shouldn't I be, according to
Can we wrap?
I'll hold your hand through this.
I'll take more of the most emotional time.
Better about yourself.
Can we close?
I'll hold your hand, help you feel better about yourself. I'll guide you. I'll love bro you.
Anton, you be so mad and stuff. Come on now. Like, you be mad too. Oh, you so hard. You be mad. I swear. Y'all all be mad. Like, I think that every time I hear that person laughing, and that's me laughing, I'll be cracking up. But yeah, we got this. We got this. As long as everybody understands it's a show. And this is what it is. Like, we all have different opinions.
I said what I said, man.
I just don't want you looking like this, man. When at the end of the day, it don't look good on you, man.
It don't matter.
What? B-Nix is
I don't care.
Like, B-Nix is like the definition of like what a true man should be.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
He's a father and stuff. I'm just saying.
He is. He's a great.
Man, my kids
he's emotional. He lets his emotions get the best of him, and that's a female truth.
No shame. He is
a female truth. I speak my mind.
What he should be.
See, that's the thing, bro. I didn't know that. Like, I can't speak my mind. That's not being masculine. I just sit up here and act.
I appreciate you guys.
Hold on, JR.
And I appreciate the fact that you guys are different. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a great show. It wouldn't be the greatest show.
Next, I'm gonna treat you with
the greatest show.
No, I don't want to see no more watches, please, man. I don't want to see no more green boxes or whatever you got. Any Lambo keys, no condo keys. I don't want to see none of that. JR, can we just close? I ain't trying to see this.
The greatest show.
This is what I got for you. There you go. Does it feel better?
No, hey, anybody know me? I'm the
that makes me feel better, Anton.
It's going in your direction.
No,
I
it
don't
makes
even
me
like-
feel better. I like
touching
that
people.
heart.
So I don't know why you said
Nick's
that's
like
like
it too.
heart.
Where's your red marker? You got to fill it in for me. I like red.
I don't have I would, but I'll have it for you the next show.
But thank you. Put it up.
Hey JR, what's up, bro?
That was an olive branch. Thank you, Anton, for that olive.
His direction.
All right, you guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. It's gonna conclude our show, Lapeef Let's Talk. If you guys don't know, we are on YouTube. Just put in Lapeef, it'll pop right up. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, we out. This is the greatest show on earth. Greatest show ever. Greatest show on earth, son. Sure to make sure you guys subscribe. YouTube, Lapeef Let's Talk. Share. It's the greatest show. I ain't playing. I'm dead ass.